Your symptoms, like PMS, cramps that leave you debilitated, sleepless nights, waking up at 3 a.m., breakouts, weight gain, spotting, infertility, they aren't random and they're not normal. They're your body's way of telling you that you've been undernourishing yourself for far too long. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a mineral consultant, a functional nutritionist, a permaculturalist, and a women's circle facilitator. But more than that, I'm a woman who had to rebuild herself from the ground up. 3 years ago, I was very healthy on paper. I was working multiple jobs, I was living on my own, I was in a long-term, long-distance relationship, I was getting promoted, and I was climbing one of the tallest mountains in Canada. From the outside, I looked very healthy and very capable. But I was burnt out, I was overworked, I was dysregulated and undernourished, and I wound up in the emergency room with a viral brain infection called encephalitis. And while it was a virus, or so they say, 75% of the population has this virus, and in very rare cases, it attacks the brain if you give it the opportunity to do so. When we're run down, when we're stressed out, when we're burnt out and overworked, we make ourselves susceptible to illness and infection. This is what creates disease. And this is exactly what happened to me, and it can happen to any of us at any time. And in the aftermath of this event, my health was a mess. I stopped cycling for 9 months. I lost 50 pounds. My hair was falling out in chunks. I had no libido, no lust for life, and no sense of safety in my own body. I was so dysregulated that in order to leave the house, I had to wear sunglasses and earmuffs at all time. But through changing my relationship to food, to my body, to my cycle, to the elements, to stress, to work, and through understanding the intricate balance of minerals and female physiology, I brought myself back to full health. Once I saw how this could change my own life, I wanted to share it with others. So I've been working with women for the last 3 years on coming back to the wisdom of their bodies and relearning the art of nourishment. I work primarily with minerals because they are the foundation, the structure that brings this physical reality into existence. They are our oldest ancestors, and they are the primal material behind everything that we see and all that we are. And when they come out of balance, so do we. When you work with minerals, you're repairing the broken conversation between your body and the earth. Our cycle is often the first place any imbalances show up. Our cycle is our first responder. She is our monthly report card telling us how our body is doing, how our body is managing stress. Conventional medicine tells us that the only way to work with our bodies is through surgery and prescriptions. This is what they're good at. This is what they've been trained to do. We get prescribed birth control for cycle irregularities, metformin for blood sugar, thyroid medication for abnormal labs, Accutane for our skin, laxatives for constipation, and IVF for infertility. We get our gallbladders removed when we have gallstones, C-sections for any birth complication, our tonsils removed when we have recurrent infections, statins for cholesterol, antidepressants for mood, and steroids for inflammation. I'm here to tell you that you have more options. Many of us were taught to manage symptoms rather than understand them. These are signals, they're whispers from the body. And if you listen to her whispers, then you don't have to hear her scream. Not like I did. As women, we have a lot of stress put on our bodies and our nervous systems on a day-to-day basis. Just to be able to handle that stress, we use a lot of micronutrients, aka minerals, and we use them every single day just to function. And our minerals impact everything. Our thyroid, our digestion, our detox pathways, our hormones, our mood, our energy, and so much more. Minerals are the spark plugs that light our metabolic fire. And so when we start experiencing symptoms, this is one of the first signs that your minerals are out of balance. I'm telling you all of this because I've been there before. And through rebalancing my minerals, restoring nourishment, and creating safety in my nervous system, my cycle returned, my strength returned, my vitality returned. Getting encephalitis was a blessing because it led me down this path. And now I can offer this work to others because I see how badly women need support, because I was that woman. This is the work I now guide women through inside She Is Nourished. We start by understanding your mineral status, because when you can see what your body is asking for, the path becomes clear. From there, we create a personalized protocol for you focused on whole food nutrition and mineral support, nervous system regulation, and lifestyle shifts that are sustainable. This isn't about biohacking your body. It's about rebuilding trust with your body and its environment. There's so much fear instilled in us and such a deep mistrust in our bodies. But through my own journey, I've come to the realization that the body never lies. It's always trying to find homeostasis. It just needs the right building blocks. One of the hardest parts of my recovery was the decision to refuse medication. So when I was in the hospital, I was put on a very high dose of anti-epilepsy medication, and I was meant to take it for at least 6 months. However, I quickly realized that this medication was only hindering my healing and disconnecting me from my body. And while staying on the medication greatly reduced my chances of having another seizure, I knew it wasn't the path I was going to take. I went off it as soon as possible, and I started taking medicinal mushrooms instead. The medication down regulates your brain activity, whereas mushrooms bring coherence. One is sedative and the other is adaptogenic. This was one of the hardest parts of my healing because I had to lean into trusting my body and block out the fear that the Western medical system plants in our psyche. I found out later that 40% of patients that take this medication need to remain on it long term, if not for life, because they can't function without it. But soon after I got out of the hospital, I started looking into alternative forms of healing. I did a lot of nervous system healing, neuromuscular training, and I got my minerals checked. I could see all the areas that I was out of balance. My magnesium was depleted, my zinc and copper were completely dysregulated, my adrenals were fatigued, and my cortisol levels were through the roof. And this really showed me how I got into this mess in the first place. It showed me where all of my symptoms were coming from and a clear pathway out of them. So this is what we'll do together. We'll test your minerals right off the bat and see where you're at. And then we'll create a plan focusing on nutrition, lifestyle, and supplement supports specifically tailored to you. We'll meet bi-weekly over the course of 4 months. And on each call, we'll focus on a different topic. We'll look at your adrenals, we'll look at your hormones, we'll look at your liver function, your digestion, and how to support detox pathways. And then at the end of the 3rd month, we'll take a second HTMA so you can see your transformation in real time and look at the measurable shifts that you've made in your minerals, your symptoms, and your overall vitality. Then we'll make any adjustments to the protocol and send you on your way because ultimately, this is about your own relationship to minerals. And I just provide the blueprints. So whatever it may be that you're dealing with, insomnia, acne, fertility, digestive issues, fatigue, PMS, Hashimoto's, autoimmune conditions, or irregular cycles, minerals always address the root cause. But I'll be honest, it's not a quick fix. Just like we don't come out of balance overnight, it's not going to reverse itself instantly. But the work is sustaining. The work you do with me will serve you for the rest of your life. The results that you get from restoring your minerals are life-changing and lifelong. This work isn't about biohacking your body. It's about rebuilding safety inside it. When you begin restoring your minerals, you will notice changes that ripple outwards. You'll see improvements in your mood, your libido, your hunger, your pleasure, your sleep quality, your digestion. You'll have clearer skin, steadier energy, deeper sleep, more stable mood, more regulated cycles, and just a deeper sense of being at home in your body. Because when your cells feel nourished, everything follows. You give your body the tools to bring everything back to balance. And ultimately, I just want to help women feel like themselves again. So if you feel like something is off and you could feel better, if you're tired of overriding your body, and if you're ready to stop fighting and start listening, I would be honored to walk with you inside She Is Nourished because you deserve to feel at home in your body.